House will come to order. Those persons not having privilege of the floor will please vacate the chamber. Members and guests in the galleries will please rise as we are led in prayer today by Pastor Charles Bias. Pastor Bias is a guest of the gentleman from the 61st Delegate Jeffries.
It is a joy and a personal honor to address you gentlemen and ladies today on this brisk January morning. I have a short scripture reading because I thought and prayed, what would I share today in prayer, and said I want to share something that helps me personally every day, and an intention that it'll help you because we are all in service of others. So the reading comes from Philippians 2, very brief reading. Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look not out for his own interest, but also the interest of others. Now, how is this possible? The example, verse 5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God did not consider it robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, taking on him the form of a bondservant and coming in the likeness of man. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient, even to the point of death, even the death of the cross. Would you pray with me, please? Our Heavenly Father, as we ask your presence on this day, we are just grateful, first of all, for a biblical awareness of who we are, the created beings, under the great I Am, the Creator. And we are putting ourselves in remembrance that the best way to serve others is that I grow every day in the subject of humility, Jesus being that chief model of lowliness of mind, of humility. And it's through that position that we can esteem others the best, we can keep self in check, we can do the hard work at hand. And Father, we also know you've told us that pride gets resistance from heaven, but humbleness gets assistance. So we humble ourselves, thanking you for the joy of serving others, and we need your strength today in all we do. In Jesus' name we ask, amen.
Please remain standing as we are led in the Pledge of Allegiance today by the gentleman from the 61st Delegate Jeffries.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the House and guests please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members and guests may be seated. Reading of the Journal.
Journal of the House of Delegates, January 16th, 2026.
Led in 81st Delegate Hamilton.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the further reading of the journal be dispensed with and that it be approved as having been read.
Lady from the 81st, ask unanimous consent that further reading of the journal be dispensed with and that it be approved as having been read. Are there objections? Are there objections? No objections are heard. Further reading of the journal will be dispensed with. Introductions. Gentleman from the 43rd, Delegate Tony.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to announce, sponsored by the West Virginia Academy of Family Physicians and celebrating the 37th anniversary of the Doctor Today program, our family doctor today is Dr. Seth Brogan from Huntington. Please give him a warm welcome.
Gentleman from the 41st.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we could turn our attention to the North Gallery, we have with us this morning the Mercer County Commissioner, Brian Blankenship. Would the House make him feel welcome?
Gentlelady from the 63rd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to draw our attention to the back of the gallery, or I'm sorry, the back of the chamber. We have former Delegate Brent Boggs and Braxton County's current County Commissioner. Please make him feel welcome.
Gentleman from the 92nd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to draw your attention to the West Gallery. We have county commissioners from Berkeley County, President Eddie Gokenauer, Vice President Steve Catlett, Jim Whitaker, and H.D. Boyd. Also, the County Administrator, Gary Wine. If they would stand up and please make them feel welcome.
Gentleman from the 7th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of myself, Delegate Riley, Delegate Stadler, and Delegate Bell, I would like to draw your attention to the South Gallery and welcome Commissioner Kelly Nelson from Wetzel County. He's part of my district.
Gentleman from the 60th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to welcome today a special young lady that's paging for us, and I think she may be busy. We see her on the floor currently, but I'd like to welcome Lydia Paul. She is a student athlete at Polka High School, middle school, take that back, and she is a member of the track team there, the choir, the dance, the band, and she's also a wrestler there where she placed third in the state championships last year. And she's finally also the younger sister of my daughter's boyfriend. So that the connection there, so that's why she's pretty special. And her mother is joining us in the West Gallery just above me. Would you make her welcome?
Gentleman from the 67th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't see where he's at, but the president of the Pendleton County Commission, Roger Dahmer, is here, and on behalf of Delegate Ward and myself, I just want to say thank you for coming.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Friends, good morning. Up in the West Gallery, we have our delegation from the Calhoun County Commission with us today. If our friends would please stand, we have Craig Arthur, Lee Rush, Eric Lapardis, and our County Administrator, Jennifer Randolph. Let's make them welcome to the House today.
Gentleman from the 1st.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the North Gallery, we have two of the three Hancock County Commissioners with us today. There's Commissioner Aaron Check and Commissioner Paul Cowley. Would the House please make them feel welcome?
Gentlelady from the 15th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you could turn your attention to the West Gallery, I do have a guest here, our County Commission President, Merle Shamblin. If you could make him feel welcome, please.
Gentleman from the 9th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning. I have two introductions today for the 9th District. I'm pleased to welcome in the West Gallery for County Commissioner Day, Ritchie County Commissioners Randall Riggs and Steve Ritter. Also, we have Pleasants County Commissioner Doug Renner. Please join me in making them feel welcome. Also, Mr. Speaker, in the North Gallery, I'm very pleased to be joined today by my wife, Brooke Barnhart. Please join me in making her feel welcome.
Gentleman from the 8th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. I'd like to introduce in the South Gallery today, Tyler County Commissioner Mike Smith. If the House would please make them feel welcome.
Gentleman from the 36th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to take your attention to the North Gallery. We have two of our commissioners from McDowell County, Commissioner Cecil Patterson, Commissioner Dwayne Dotson, if the body would make them feel welcome.
Gentleman from the 86th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the West Gallery, I have visiting with us two of the county commissioners from Hardy County, Jay Fansler and Stephen Sheetram. Please make them feel welcome.
Gentleman from the 45th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Fayette County delegation, I have the distinct honor of introducing a gentleman today, Fayette County Commissioner, my friend, Greg Furnett. Would you please stand? House, please make him feel welcome.
Gentleman from the 24th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Cabell County delegation, we have 4 guests in the South Gallery. If you'd please stand as I call your name. Our Cabell County Commission Assistant County Administrator Charles Walker, our Cabell County Commission President Liza Caldwell, former delegate and current Cabell County Commissioner Kelly Sabonia, and another former delegate and current Cabell County Commissioner John Mant Jr. Please make them feel welcome.
Gentleman from the 29th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In this historic building, we have some people making history of their own. And on behalf of the Mingo County delegation, the gentleman from the 34th, Delegate Dean, and I are honored and privileged to be joined today in the South Gallery for the 3rd time in my 4 years in the House by the 2025 WVSSAC Class A cheerleading champion Tug Valley Panthers, led by 7-time champion head coach Tara Mitchell, with the most championships of any head coach, by the way. This makes the 11th state title in school history. Several members are out with the flu, unfortunately, but we will recognize them all. As I call your name, if you're present, please stand to be recognized. Lila Duncan, Tyson Miller, Molly Hatfield, Allison Markham, Aubrey Williamson, Lakin Wolford, Alexa Perry, Madison Messer, Megan Pack, Mason Markham, Riley Vickers, Jaylena Mead, Kennedy Bryant. Friends and colleagues, please join me in welcoming once again to the People's House our state champion Tug Valley Panthers.
Gentleman from the 54th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. There are so many great county commissioners in the building today. I have the honor of introducing one of the greatest. Joining us today in the West Gallery, we have current county commissioner and former chief election officer of the state of West Virginia, Commissioner Natalie Tennant.
Gentleman from the 79th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of Delegate Williams and Delegate Hamilton, in the West Gallery, I would like to welcome Cal Carlson. Cal is the chair of the Monongalia County Democratic Executive Committee. If the House would please make him welcome.
Gentleman from the 6th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you turn your attention to the South Gallery, Delegate Sheedy and I would like to welcome my good friend and Marshall County Commissioner Dave McLaughlin to the House. Would the House please make him feel welcome?
Gentleman from the 69th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the delegates from Harrison County, I wish to introduce our prosecutor from Harrison County, Rachel Romano, and her chief assistant, Laura Pickens. Worked with them for many years. They're great ladies. Thank you.
Gentlelady from the 56th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be joined by Paige today. She's running around here somewhere. Mia Wilson is a 6th grader at John Adams Middle School, and she is joined by her parents in the West Gallery, if everyone can make her feel welcome.
Gentlelady from the 81st.
Thank you, Mrs. Speaker. I would like to say happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We have with us today, we want to welcome the supporters of Fairness West Virginia who are here in the gallery for the annual Fairness Day for All. We understand that supporters and organizations from across the state have come to Charleston to advocate for fairness and non-discrimination and to remind us that freedom belongs to everyone. So please make them feel welcome.
I'd like to say happy Martin Luther King Day to everybody, and thank you for the honor, Mr. Speaker.
Further introductions. Further introductions. If not, standing committee reports.
Your Committee on Finances originated House Bill 4574 relating to providing for condition-based emergency funding for a financially distressed county, and House Bill 4575 making supplemental appropriations to State Board of Education, and reports the same back with the recommendation that each do pass.
Report to be received. Gentleman from the first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that House Bill 4574 be taken up for immediate consideration and read a first time.
Gentleman from the first ask unanimous consent that House Bill 4574 be taken up for immediate consideration and read a first time. Are there objections? No objections are heard. The clerk will please read the bill a first time.
House Bill 4574 relating to providing for condition-based emergency funding for a financially distressed county.
Bill will be advanced. Gentleman from the first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the constitutional rule that the bill be read on 3 separate days be dispensed with. The bill be read a second and third time and put upon its passage.
Gentleman from the first moves that the constitutional rule requiring that the bill be read on 3 separate days be dispensed with, and that House Bill 4574 be read a second and third time and put upon its passage. This motion does require a 4/5 vote for passage. Those in favor of passage of the gentleman's motion will please vote aye. Those opposed will please vote no. The clerk will prepare the machine. Has every member voted? Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will please close the machine and ascertain the result on this question. There were 90 ayes, 4 nays, and 5 members absent. 4/5 of members present and voting having voted in the affirmative, the chair declares the motion adopted. The clerk will please read the bill a second time.
House Bill 4574 relating to providing for condition-based emergency funding for a financially distressed county.
Are there amendments? If not, the bill will be advanced to third reading and read a third time.
House Bill 4574 relating to providing for condition-based emergency funding for a financially distressed county.
The question before the House is, shall the bill pass? Are there objections to having the bill explained in lieu of having the bill read? No objections are heard. Gentleman from the 34th, Delegate Dean, is recognized to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The purpose of this bill is to provide for condition-based emergency funding for a financially distressed county. The bill provides 2 definitions, one for financially distressed counties and one for maladministration. A financially distressed county means a county either in deficit or on the most recently established watch list established by the Department of Education of those counties at risk of becoming in deficit. Maladministration means the occurrence of one or more of the following actions or failures to act as documented by financial records, audit findings, or statutory noncompliance within the preceding 12 months. The failure to maintain reserve balances at or above levels required by statute or State Board of Education rule for 2 consecutive reporting periods without submission of a corrective action plan. And number 2, the failure to submit required financial reports, audits, or WEVIS data by statutory deadlines or with material inaccuracies, included but not limited to approval of expenditures that exceed gross revenue for more than 1 fiscal year. This bill sets forth a reserve threshold to be eligible for the fund in the amount of 5%. The bill provides for conditions by accepting money from this fund. The bill provides for when changes may be proffered in the case or of any proposed removal of a county officer, member of Board of Education, in accordance with Policy 6-6-7 of this code. There are reporting requirements to LOCIA within this bill. It provides a timeline of when funds that are taken from this fund by a financially distressed county are to be paid back. The bill provides for reversion to the original general revenue account. The fund is established to be known as the Temporary Shortfall Supplement Fund for County Boards of Education. Finally, the bill provides that once the fund is established, the fund shall continue to exist in code for future use by the state board in the event the legislature appropriate funds to meet other temporary county board shortfalls of funding. That is a summary of the bill, Mr. Speaker. I urge passage.
Question again is, shall the bill pass? Is there debate on the bill? Gentleman from the 94th, Douglas Cump's recognized.
Permission to speak, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, gentleman is recognized.
As you may have noticed, I voted against to suspend the constitutional rules on passage on this, and I did that not because of the merits of the bill, but because even though this is an emergency situation, I still think we have time to follow constitutional order to get more input from the delegates and most particularly from the public in general. Having said that, with the information I have available, I'm going to vote for this bill.
Gentleman from the 25th, Douglas Hornbuckle is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the gentleman from the 34th yield? Yes, sir. Are you aware of why the county is in distress?
There were several reasons that were outlined to us by the county and by the State Department. I think the gentleman from the first is prepared to answer those questions in more detail.
Okay. Would these be better directed towards him?
Yes, sir.
Gentleman does yield.
Yeah. Would you like me just to go through a timeline here and explain?
That'd be very much appropriate.
So I became aware of this along with several others. I included in a meeting arranged with state board officials while we were in interims in early December. December 9th, I had scheduled ahead of time a meeting with the state schools finance officer and the assistant state school superintendent of accountability. They came into my office for a meeting. Delegate Dean was present along with several other delegates, including the speaker. And I thought I was walking into a meeting basically to talk about an elementary school that they may have to close down. Well, it was brought to my attention right off the get-go that Hancock County Schools would not make February payroll. And a report was given to me by the Department of Education that detailed basically gross mismanagement over the last 2 years with the newest administration that took over Hancock County Schools over the last, 2.5 years ago about. And so just to give you a little bit of how this happened, about 3 years ago, Hancock County Schools was more than financially solvent. They had a multi-million-dollar surplus. Since that time frame, the new administration that came in managed through a number of different, we'll just say, through gross incompetency, managed to take that very healthy, financially healthy school system and turn it into what will be, by the end of this fiscal year, about a $7.3 million deficit. There was a number of different things. Of course, there were 143 positions over formula. There was also large expenditures that were made for athletic facilities throughout the different high schools in Hancock County, amounting to somewhere, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but maybe between $6 to $8 million. That was out of their revenue fund. And then there was also a number of other things that took place, and there may have been potentially some, it was gross mismanagement. Hopefully it's not more than something worse than that. And so it's sort of an anomaly because you probably know regulatory law that governs when you can and cannot, RIF. You have to notice school personnel for reductions in force by certain deadlines. Well, it was sort of like a blind spot because none of that was done. And so suddenly you have this shortfall where they're not going to be able to make payroll, and the local administration, by this point in time in December, had never made any cuts, or they were now not able to make any cuts because of those personnel regulations. I mean, you just can't riff and cut savings in the middle of the year. So they're out of the window. At the time, on December 9th, when this meeting took place over interims, the state school board said, I asked them if they were going to take them over. And they said no, because for one reason, we don't have any revenue really to make up for this. And so it doesn't address the immediate problem of making payroll and keeping schools open throughout the rest of this fiscal year. The best they could do was advance, school aid formula money that they were allotted. And my understanding now, based on all the financials, even if they took, the state school board has now since taken them over on Friday, okay? But even if they take all of the school aid formula that they're allotted in Hancock County schools to June 30 and advance that to now, that may not even get them through March. Depends. They might get over the March hump, but they definitely won't be able to get through the rest of the fiscal year. So with that being said, new management's been put in place. The superintendent and the assistant superintendent were terminated this past Friday morning. So we have an interim superintendent that came up from Wheeling that's I've gotten a lot of good reports on that he's going to be able to get to the bottom of it. So this is just sort of, it's an anomaly, really, that the state school board and the Department of Education have said they've never seen anything like it, where a county superintendent or administration doesn't make at the beginning of the year and then just allows that to the deadlines for being able to kind of make sure things get back on track with a balanced budget, allows that to pass, and now they have no more money and they're insolvent, even though there's obligations that they have to make payroll for the rest of that school year. So that's sort of, I've got a lot more details I can go into offline, but there may be consequences above and beyond just termination for the administration this past Friday. So they're under new management now, but this is sort of this unique situation is sort of why we've crafted this this bill. So.
Yes, sir. And typically, when a county is under the custodianship of the state, don't they typically pay for these types of items, the state board?
The state board typically pays for the, I'm sorry?
So in an emergency situation like this, now that they are in receivership, the state board, would they not be paying for these expenses?
Well, they can, but like I said, they only legally authorized to advance school aid formula money, which they're allotted in Hancock County. At the beginning of the year, that is assessed based on enrollment and things like that. And so even, like I said, that's what the state school board can do legally, advance school aid formula money. So even if they do advance, which they're going to do, advance school aid formula money from the rest of the school year forward so that they have access to it, and it's being overseen now by the state school board, they still won't be able to get through the rest of the school year. And so, and when the proper reductions take place with the new management put in place this spring, that won't go into effect till the next fiscal year. And so those savings really are not going to be able to catch up to balance the budget until probably September. And so it's just an anomaly, really. The state school board officials that I've been working with told me they'd never seen anything like it in recent history, and the same with officials from the Department of Education. So that's why I guess this is sort of a unique situation which required some sort of thinking outside the box.
Yes, sir. You speak of an anomaly. Are there any other counties that are that you're aware of that might be on the watch list or near this certain type of status?
Yeah, there are other counties on a watch list, and this is something I also found out, which we probably should look into, because the watch lists that they use to flag these counties that may be financially distressed. I mean, it was told to me by different educational officials that a lot of times those watch lists that, are put onto different counties to either demonstrate that they may be in need of help. They said most of the time that's really just because there's a lack of accountants to be able to audit or do financials. And so it's sort of like debasing the signal that allows us or the Department of Education to figure out who's really in need and who's in really dire circumstances and who's not, because they said, yeah, normally it's just people that may file their financials a few days late. That gets flagged as a watch list. Or you just don't have, there's a shortage of accountants to help out with audits. So that needs, I think, in the future, some reform there too, so that we actually have a real, a distinction between the two.
Thank you. Permission to speak to the bill?
Gentleman is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Body, I'm going to urge passage of this, but I'm also going to do so with caution. Reason for urging passage is there are kids involved. There's kids involved, simply put, and we have to do everything we can to help them. But then there's also jobs that are at stake in a part of our state that we love and hold very dearly. But I would also say, to piggyback off the gentleman from the first, looking at oversight measures and what we can do in auditing. But more importantly than that, I would recommend to this body, we need to reevaluate also what we have done and what we will do to make sure we are not putting financial hardships on counties so that we are not sitting here yet again having to make emergency action. Because if we do not, we will be here. Thank you.
Is there further debate on the bill? Does the gentleman wish to close debate on the bill? If not, the question before the House is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of passage of the bill will please vote aye. Those opposed will please vote no. The clerk will prepare the machine. Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will please close the machine and ascertain the result on that question. There were 91 ayes, 2 nays, and 6 members absent. A majority of the members having voted in the affirmative, the chair declares the bill passed. The clerk will please report the title.
House Bill 4574.
Are there title amendments? If not, the title is read by the clerk will be and remain the title of the bill. Gentleman the first.
I move the bill be made effective for passage, sir.
The question now is on the gentleman's motion that House Bill 4574 be made effective from passage. Those in favor of the gentleman's motion will please vote aye. Those opposed will please vote no. The clerk will prepare the machine. Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will please close the machine and ascertain the result on that question. We have 94 ayes, 0 nays, and 5 members absent. 2/3 of the members having voted in the affirmative, the chair declares the bill effective from passage. The clerk will please communicate the action of the House to the Senate. Further committee reports. Gentleman the first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that House Bill 4575 be taken up for immediate consideration and read a first time.
Gentlemen now ask unanimous consent that House Bill 4575 be taken up for immediate consideration and read a first time. Are there objections? No objections are heard. Clerk will please read the bill first time.
House Bill 4575, making supplemental appropriation to State Board of Education.
Bill will be advanced to second reading. Gentleman the first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the constitutional rule that the bill be read on 3 separate days, be dispensed with, and the bill be read a second and third time and put upon its passage.
The question now is that the constitutional rule requiring that the bill be read on 3 separate days be dispensed with, and that House Bill 4575 be read a second and third time and put upon its passage. Those in favor of the gentleman's motion will please vote aye. Those opposed will please vote no. The clerk prepare the machine. Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will please close the machine and ascertain the result on that question. We had 90 ayes, 4 nays, and 5 members absent. 4/5 of the members having voted in the affirmative, the chair declares the rules suspended. The clerk will please read the bill a second time.
House Bill 4575, making supplemental appropriation to State Board of Education.
Are there amendments? If not, the bill will be advanced to third reading and read a third time.
House Bill 4575, making supplemental appropriation to State Board of Education.
Are there objections to having the bill explained in lieu of having it read? No objections are heard. Gentleman from the 12th to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 4575 creates a new line of appropriation within the Department of Education. The bill appropriates $8 million from the unappropriated surplus balance to line 38A, State Board of Education surplus, and directs the transfer to the State Board of Education temporary shortfall supplemental fund for the county boards of education. I urge passage.
Question before the House is, shall the bill pass? Is there debate on the bill? If not, those in favor of passage of the bill will please vote aye. Those opposed will please vote no. The clerk will prepare the machine. Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will please close the machine and ascertain the result on that question. We had 92 ayes, 2 noes, and 5 members absent. Majority of the members having voted in the affirmative, the chair declares the bill passed. The clerk will please report the title.
House Bill 4575.
Are there title amendments? If not, the title as read by the clerk will be and remain the title of the bill. Gentleman the first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the bill be made effective for passage.
The question now is on the gentleman's motion that House Bill 4575 be made effective from passage. Those in favor of the gentleman's motion will please vote aye. Those opposed will please vote no. The clerk will prepare the machine. Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will please close the machine and ascertain the result on this question. We had 94 ayes, 0 nays, and 5 members absent. A majority of the members having, 2/3 of the members having voted in the affirmative. The chair declares the bill effective from passage. The clerk will please communicate the action of the House to the Senate. Further standing committee reports, select committee reports, executive messages, Senate messages, resolutions, petitions, bills introduced.
House Bill 4026, relating to expanding the requirements for integrated resource plans utility companies must file with the Public Service Commission.
Gentleman first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that further reading of the bills introduced be dispensed with, and that each bill be considered as having been formally introduced and refer to the appropriate committees as indicated on the chamber automation system.
Gentleman from the first, ask unanimous consent that further reading of bills introduced be dispensed with, and that each bill be considered as having been formally introduced and referred to the appropriate committees as indicated on the chamber automation system. Are there objections? Are there objections? No objections are heard. Motions, unfinished business, bills on third reading, bills on second reading, bills on first reading. Leaves of absence. Gentleman the first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For our colleagues, Jay Cannon, Delegate Jordan, Delegate B. Smith, Delegate D. Smith, and Delegate William.
Are there objections to leaves of absence being granted? No objections are heard. Those leaves of absence will be granted. Introductions. Introductions. No introductions. Miscellaneous business. Gentleman the first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move subject to announcements that the House adjourn until 11 a.m. tomorrow, January 20th.
Are there announcements? Gentleman the 72nd. Delegate Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Finance will meet today, January 19th, at the House Finance Committee Room at 4 p.m. for a budget presentation from the Adjutant General. Your Committee on Finance will also meet tomorrow, January 20th, in the House Finance Committee Room at 9 a.m. for a committee meeting and a budget hearing from the Secretary of State and the Department of Transportation. The agenda will be posted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from the 41st, Delegate Maynard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Committee on the Judiciary will meet on Tuesday, January 20th at 9 a.m. in the Judiciary Committee Room. The agenda will be posted. The Subcommittee on the Courts will meet on Tuesday, January 20th at 9:45 a.m. in the Judiciary Committee Room. The agenda will be posted. Subcommittee on Legal Services will meet on Tuesday, January 20th at 10:15 a.m. in the Judiciary Committee Room. The agenda will be posted. And your Republican members of the Committee on the Judiciary will caucus in the Chairman's office tomorrow, January 20th at 8:45 a.m. Thank you.
From the 68th, Delegate Phillips.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Standing Committee on Government Organization will meet today at 1 p.m. in the Government Organization Committee Room. The agenda is posted. Republicans will caucus at 12:45 in the Chairman's office. Your Subcommittee on Local Governments will not meet today. Your Subcommittee on Commerce, Agriculture, and Tourism will meet tomorrow at 1 p.m. in the Government Organization Committee Room. The agenda will be posted. Republicans will caucus at 12:45 in the Chairman's office. Your Subcommittee on Government Administration will meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Government Organization Committee Room. The agenda will be posted, and Republicans will caucus at 1:45 in the Chairman's office. Thank you.
From the 92nd, Delegate Height.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Health and Human Resources will meet today, January 19th at 3:30 p.m. in the Health and Human Resources Committee Room. Republican members will caucus at 3 p.m. And your Health and Human Resources Committee will meet tomorrow, January 20th at 3:30 p.m. Republican members will caucus at 3 p.m. as well. The agenda is posted.
From the 77, Douglas Stowler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Education will meet today at 1:30 in the Education Committee Room. The agenda is posted. The Republican members of the committee will caucus at 1 p.m. in the Chairman's office. Also, your Committee on Education will meet again tomorrow at 1:30 in the Education Committee Room. The agenda will be posted. The Republican members are asked to caucus at 1 p.m. in the Chairman's office.
Gentleman from the 2nd, Douglas Teslo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The leadership of the Standing Committee on Energy and Public Works, which include the chairs and sub-chairs of the main committee and all subcommittees, will meet today, January 19th, in the McManus Conference Room, 15 minutes after the completion of this session. Also, the full Committee on Energy and Public Works will meet later at 3 p.m. in the House Judiciary Committee Room. The agenda is posted, and please bring your laptops. Thank you.
Lady from the 81st, Douglas Hamilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Women's Caucus will meet today at 12 noon following session in 330 West. All women are invited, and lunch will be provided.
Do we have further announcements? If not, the question is on the motion that the House stand adjourned at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those opposed, please say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The House is adjourned at 11 a.m. tomorrow.